So very briefly, market cap 26.6. That's based on a 30-day VWAP. We're currently sitting at about a 33 million market cap. Just over $5 million in cash, $5.5 million in cash. Importantly, our shareholders, we've got a number of high net worths out of London and Europe. Darren Carter from London, holding just over 10%, and then Val Bon and Marilay are high net worths from Paris. But in our last capital raising, which we did late last year, we saw a number of Australian resource funds join us. So we've got Acorn Capital there as a substantial shareholder. We've got Precision Funds out of Perth, KISS Capital out of Sydney, and a number of smaller ones, Lowell Resource Fund out of Melbourne, and a couple of the local guys here in Brisbane that invest in resource stocks are also building positions in us. So it's all taking shape very well at the moment. And board and management have put their own cash into the company. So our position there is shares that have been bought either on market or through placements. So very briefly, as Chris said, the Viscaria copper project was what underpinned the company, and we were telling the world that we needed a $3 a pound copper price for this to be an attractive proposition, and so we're now comfortably above that. And we're actually getting a lot of interest from other parties that want to take a look at Viscaria. I'm heading there later in the month to host a couple of visits. So we'll see where that goes. But we probably need a partner to fund development, which is $130 million US. But Ecuador is really what's generating the excitement. And we've secured a gold copper porphyry system. It's been explored before. There's been some drilling, and that drilling has returned ore grade intercepts. Now, we've secured this at a very low price, and I'll explain that a bit in a minute. I won't talk about Finland today, but certainly if you want more detail on that, let me know. So there's our share price over the last 15 months or so. You can see things were weakening a bit. Copper price was pretty low, and then the copper price jumped, and that coincided with Trump becoming president of the US. And talking about all sorts of infrastructure development. It then plateaued for a while, as did our share price. And then when we announced Bramaderos, we started to get a bit of market traction. But then you can see late last year, copper comfortably above $3 a pound. $3 a pound. We undertook a roadshow. We were delivering good results from Bramaderos. So all the stars are aligning, and we've seen a significant increase in our share price over the last few months. This is what we're trying to deliver. So these are the two projects that Chris mentioned that the team at Sunstone have been involved in, the discovery of 2G Bukit and the discovery of Cascabel. Obviously delivered huge shareholder return. We're planning on doing that again at Bramaderos. I won't go through this in detail, but the most important thing to say is that the historic drill hole delivered an intersection that had grades equivalent to the grades that Cadia in New South Wales was developed on. So it's an ore grade intercept, and it's only tested to about 150 metres below surface. So we're going in to drill that as soon as we get a drill permit. We were hoping to have that by the end of the year, but it hasn't come through, but we're very close to getting it, and I would expect it certainly in the next several weeks. So Bramaderos in the south, just for context, Cascabel in the north. But Ecuador is attracting a lot of attention. It's a good place to explore. They've got a new mining act. They're competitive with Peru and Chile. And all the Australian majors are in there, and a number of other majors are lining up. That's the project. I'll let you go through that at your leisure in the interests of time. But the diagram on the lower right shows the historic drill hole, our sampling over the top of it. And we're already starting to define some geometry for what could be a very large discovery. So this is what it's all about in Ecuador. BHP are there, Newcrest are there, Hancock Prospecting, Fortescue, Anglo American are moving in there, Codelco are already in, all the majors are in. Now, a consequence of that is that to secure an exploration permit here, you participate in an auction process. And so these majors are putting forward huge numbers. Hancock Prospecting recently committed $240 million in exploration over 4 years for one exploration concession. So the barriers to entry for juniors like us are very, very high. So when we did this deal in February last year, we got in ahead of the pack. So our earn-in for this project is 3.4 million to earn 51%. So that gives you the context that we've got a very low-cost entry into what is now a very hot area around the world. Probably the hottest area for copper and gold exploration amongst the majors at the moment, and they're spending large amounts of money. Also, as Chris said, the partnership is with Cornerstone Capital. We've known them for 20 years. They're a very trustworthy junior, Canadian venture exchange listed, and they've been operating in Ecuador 10 years. So they implement the work under our direction. So that's Ecuador. Quickly on Viscaria. Couldn't ask for a better place to develop a copper deposit. We're in the north of Sweden. Sounds remote, but we're actually right next to the town of Kiruna, which is like Mount Isa or a Broken Hill. We're right on the doorstep of a mining town. Every mining contractor you can expect is there. Lots of infrastructure, very cheap hydropower. We'll be budgeting at 5 or 6 cents a kilowatt hour, so a fraction of what people pay in Australia. The area has been mined previously, so permitting will be straightforward. That's the project, that's the mine. You can see it's right next to town, and the town is there because it hosts the world's largest underground magnetite mine. And that magnetite mine is making a lot of money. It's owned by the Swedish government. Its main competitor was Samarco. Obviously, with the closure of that operation, this one has taken up a larger market share. So what's happening now? We're obviously pretty confident the copper price is going to stay strong, certainly above $3 a pound. All the people that we talk to, particularly in Europe, are very bullish about copper. Obviously being driven by battery production and electric vehicle and all that sort of support mechanism that goes into it. So Europe is turning that way very, very quickly. So we're pretty bullish on the copper price. In terms of Ecuador, we're very bullish on our results. It's the right country to be exploring in. And we're sitting here with a market cap today of about $30 million. So that's a very quick summary. I'm certainly happy to have more time with you if anyone would like it.